Romelu, 4-0 is a big win, but does it tell the full story of the game?
I mean, we could have scored more, I think, in the first half. We weren't clinical enough. We started really well. I think the first 25 minutes we were really well. But then Everton created a lot of problems, I think, in midfield. And the manager gave us a few tips how we had to deal with it in the second half. Second half, Everton had a lot of control, but then in the end, I think with the quality that we had, we made the difference.
Amongst those tips was being patient, one of them.
Yeah, it was really being patient. But try to score the second goal as quick as possible. And it's something that we didn't do. But at the end, the defense is doing really well this season. And we can count on them where we are in difficulty up front. And then at the end, we scored a few goals, so it's good.
You had a couple of half chances. Did you think it's just not going to happen for me today? I won't be able to score.
No, just years after years, I know I have to stay patient and try to keep running and believing that the ball's going to fall my way and keep the same focus. And luckily, the ball fell in my way, and I managed to put it in.
What did it mean to you scoring against your old club?
Well, I mean, it's another goal, really, but I'm really happy with the win and that we stay top on the league, I think. So that's the only objective for me this season.
It looked like it meant a bit more to you than that with those gestures to the Everton fans. What was that about?
I mean, just a bit of banter. I think with the free kick I've missed, and then they booed me, but then the rebound. It's just football, really.
Neck and neck with Manchester City right now. Was it perhaps in the back of some Manchester United players' minds today, the fact that they scored 6 yesterday?
No, we don't really look at the opponents. We try to stay focused on ourselves. We know that we have a big task this season, and we just try to improve game after game. We know that we can play better than we played today, and the next game, hopefully, we can perform better and score more goals. That's the main objective.
Antonio Valencia picked up the Premier League Man of the Match. What did you make of his goal?
Yeah, it was a great goal. It was a great goal. But that's what we wanted. We wanted to start. We wanted to score quickly, and with his quality, he has a great strike. So I'm really delighted for him.
Okay, well, thanks for talking to us. It'd be great if you pass on the trophy, please.
No problem.
He really enjoyed that today, didn't he, Romelu Lukaku? Gary Neville has rejoined Thierry Henry and Graham Souness. Gary, do you think the scoreline flattered Manchester United?
I'm Graham.
Graham?
That's Kerry.
That's why I was looking there.
Yeah,
He's done me.
I think it did. I think it did. But if you're a United supporter or you're involved with United, you're saying that we've not been at our best. We've still won 4-0. And you go back last year where they were having similar performance where they dominated for most of the game and they were getting daft draws out of it. Today, this season, it seems very different. They don't have to be at their best to win games. And that makes them very dangerous going forward.
What was the difference, Thierry?
I think for me there was a massive moment, two massive moments, is when De Gea made those saves, or shall I say those, I think, bad miss at times, and the mistake of Williams, because they had an opportunity with Keane, I think, in the first half that they didn't punish them, Man United. Another one with Pickford when he miscleared the ball and Man United didn't punish them, but the third one with Williams, I think that was the difference today. They went 2-0 up, and after that the rest was history.
Graham, Gary, do you feel like that was a very good Manchester United performance?
No, it wasn't a good performance. It's a bit of a pattern building, though, in terms of getting in front and then being patient and waiting and sometimes even retreating a little bit with a couple more defensive substitutions, and the other team gets a little bit desperate and then they score goals later on in the game. Happened 2 or 3 times now that in this season. I think Jose's always renowned as being a patient coach. His team have looked like they've got the maturity to be able to handle it. He'll be a little bit concerned about the goals they conceded at Stoke last week and the couple of big chances that they conceded today. Because obviously, United haven't played what I would call the best teams in the league yet. So they'll be a little bit concerned about that. But there is a pattern building of a team that are finishing games off that they didn't finish off last season.
United will look at that game and they'll be talking about the goals. Lukaku scoring against his old team. They won the goal of Valencia. But it's games like today, I'm sure the manager and the staff in there are saying, by the way, you owe all to this man today that you won 4-0, and pointing to De Gea. Because at 1-0, they're very much in at Everton. They're starting to dominate a lot of the ball in the second half. He makes a couple of saves that really he's not entitled to make. Wayne will be kicking himself. He's not put his one away. And, sometimes goalkeepers are forgotten in the bigger picture because it's 4-0, another 4-0 win. But then Man United's goalkeeper today was as responsible as anyone for that result.
Did it feel, Thierry, a little as if Everton might have tired towards the end as well? That trip to Italy on Thursday might just have come back to haunt them.
I think the second goal killed them for sure. They looked like the more the game was going and the better they were at one point, because they were running more than United, winning the second ball, creating chances. But I think at one point when they conceded the second one, they started to feel the game in Italy a tiny bit more. Sorry.
Not convinced?
No, I agree with Thierry. I think that United looked like the team that had played on Thursday night, and Everton were the team that had played on Tuesday. United in the second half didn't get going for 35 minutes. They were drifting through the game, not really doing enough. Lingard injected quite a bit of energy into the team, I thought. The substitution of Lingard, it didn't quite fall for him, but he did inject something. This thing started to happen around him. He's involved a lot and made them better. And then, like I say, I agree. The Williams mistake really just took the game away from Everton and made their legs obviously just go a little bit.
End up being like this.
And pouring with rain. And zipping off the surface, you know, difficult.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not renowned for scoring goals. He will never, ever score a better goal than that. Never.
And of course, Manchester United have a history of goal-scoring fullbacks, don't they, Gary?
Not like that.
No, he's been absolutely outstanding, I have to say now, for the last 18 months, 2 years. I had doubts as to whether it could last for the long term. I thought it was more of a sort of stopgap, really, till they signed a right back. But he's a real thing. I mean, if you said that, you know, he is a top right back now.
He's so strong, isn't he?
He's strong, he's quick, he supports the attack, doesn't make any mistakes. I mean, you'd think that ultimately he would get caught out at the back post. That's where usually when the ball's on the opposite side, you just lose your position. But he seems to find his position well. He's really, I think now, United don't need to sign a right back. When you think they signed Darmian as the right back, you know, Valencia's head and shoulders above. I think the problem's on the other side at left back, where obviously Ashley Young today was put under a lot of pressure by Davies and Martina. Or Blind's played there, Rojo's played there, Darmian's played there, Shaw's played there. They can't button that one down, but Valencia at right back's been absolutely fantastic.
Not too easy on cross balls with Everton. It's something we looked at last season, and it is a problem. All the lads in the studio there, no matter what position you play, when you get to a certain age, you drop deeper. As a striker, Thierry will come short of the ball. Me and Gary will drop deeper. The problem Everton have got is they've got two players like that, Ashley Williams and Phil Jagielka. Ideally, you'd want a younger one alongside them. Yes, they've got Michael Keane, but when you're playing a back three, to have two players who are the wrong side of 30, it's certainly not helping, and it certainly didn't help in those first 15, 20 minutes.
Well, that explains, Jamie, why they're dropping off so deep. But is this a problem that's easily fixed for Everton?
I don't think it is easily fixed, because you see what happened in the latter half of the first half, where Everton actually pushed on as a team, not just the back three, and then you're getting problems caught on the counter-attack. It's a major problem when you don't have pace around your team, and that is a problem for Everton. Everton's performance today, I think, was good, considering how they performed in Atalanta, against Tottenham, away at Chelsea. They'd be sort of pleased with a lot of aspects. But I don't think there's a lot Ronald Koeman can do there. There's just a serious lack of pace in this team, and that's a very difficult thing for a manager, to try and keep yourself tight at one end and also cause problems at the other. Yes, Calvert-Lewin has got to be in there, I think, a lot more. I was surprised he didn't play today, but the fact they haven't bought a striker with pace, I think, is going to really hurt them.
Jamie, just picking up on your back 3 point, obviously I can understand in open play, let's say Rashford or Lukaku are trying to run in behind them. I can understand why Williams and Jagielka would go back and protect themselves. I think, to be fair, you know, towards the end of your career, whether it be you or John Terry or me or Rio Ferdinand, all these players over the years who sort of go deeper, you do go deeper. But why? They haven't got any excuse, I don't think, for pushing up 4 or 5 yards in the box. That's not where they're going to get run. Why would you think they're not actually pushing up those 4 or 5 yards in the box?
No, I totally agree. I just think it's lazy, really. And you think of the first goal here today, letting other people do your jobs. Totally agree. Yeah, at times you're going to get caught out. We all have done on the counter-attack. But not doing that. That is something, you know, Dave just mentioned. Can it be changed? That can be changed. That's not easy. No matter how old you are, you can push up 4 or 5 yards. That is just something I think has got to be drummed into them. It's something I think we've always looked at with Everton at times, defensively, in those boxes. They've always seemed to drop off deep. It happened last season also. It was happening under Roberto Martinez. And with the same players, I should add. But that is a problem that can be rectified and has to be rectified, because we're not showing Everton conceding goals when the back three are on the halfway line. You say, well, OK, they're getting to 33, 34, they're getting done with pace. As Gary's just said, it's actually in the box where you'd expect those players, leaders as well, for Everton. You think of Ashley Williams and Jagielka, those type of players. You have to be aggressive and push out and talk. And the goal today, get Schneider out, get Sigurdsson out. That's your job, to go and head the ball. That's something that has to change, because we've seen how many goals it's costing them.
I do think it was a story of the first 10 minutes of the match. They were so deep, the midfield was so deep, and the goalkeeper's young. You know, dominant goalkeeper, if you think about, say, for instance, when I played here with Schmeichel or Van der Sar, they'd be screaming at you, get out of your box, get out of your box. How many times would you have played, Graham, where your defenders would have said to you, get up, Graham, get up? You know, there's no...
Your point's correct. That's not a difficult thing to fix. That's just having someone who's dominant and someone who's focal. And every time, you're on the edge of your 6-yard box, the cross doesn't come in, it's played back. Together you're out, but you're speaking as you're coming out. You're not just, out willy-nilly as an individual. You're talking, getting out as a unit. That, for them, should be food and drink to sort out. I mean, Koeman's the defender. That's not a difficult thing to fix. And what happens when you get out as a back four, midfield players, when they're defending on the edge of the box, are only defending when they're going out towards the ball. It's no good them holding hands with the centre-back and the right-back or left-back. They've got to get out to the ball to stop the quality being played into the box. But that, for me, is a simple thing to fix. Is that a modern-day Pat Jennings? Sorry, showing my age. Pat Jennings used to stop everything with his legs and feet. And he just, like you say, just seems to be in the right place at the right time.
The big thing, he stood up.
Yeah.
He stood up. So many goalkeepers commit themselves and go to ground early or try and go one way or the other, and he's just there, stood there, and he reacts quickly. He's just become an outstanding goalkeeper. You could argue he's now the outstanding goalkeeper in the world. He's Manchester United's world-class player. There is absolutely no doubt. And I give him quite a bit of stick when he first came to England. He was nowhere near it at that point, but he's grown into someone now who's absolutely outstanding.
Seems an awful long time ago, that, doesn't it? But he is yet to be beaten this season here at Old Trafford. No one.
What was the performance?
I think the performance was very good, especially in the first 30-35 minutes. Probably was our best performance because we played with our central defenders inside of their half. We pressed them totally. They had no chance to come out. They didn't have one shot on target. I think first half an hour, 35 minutes was really impressive. After that, Everton, good players. They come to the game, pride, a little bit of pressure, probably because of the bad results, but they come with pride, with quality, and they start giving us some little difficulties. But we have a very good bench. I look behind and I see options. I see possible decisions. I made a decision to bring Under to the game. We stayed more solid from that moment, and then in counter-attack we killed the game.
Romelu Lukaku said to us you told the team to be patient at half-time. What else did you tell them in terms of breaking down a back five?
The Premier League now is becoming very trendy with 5 in the back. I think the best way to play against 5 in the back is to play with 5 in the back. Probably you control better your opponent, probably you have results 0-0, 1-1, 1-0. But when you try not to match the tactical system of your opponent, you take some risks. So what I told the guys was to play with 3 plus Mkhitaryan, to try to play with 3 up. You have to kill the game because you are giving them little chances to have counters and to explore Baines, to explore Martinez. So we have to kill the game. Then was a moment where I felt we didn't kill it. We have to make it solid. So we brought Under, and then in that moment we control the game. Probably the result would be 1-0 from that moment. But then we scored the second goal and game over.
Did you only feel really comfortable once the second was in?
Of course. They didn't have much, but they have a couple of chances, and you have always the risk with players like they have, with the quality they have. I remember, for example, Swansea last season with Sigurdsson, one direct free kick in the last minutes of the game and 1-1. So it's the same Sigurdsson, and not just him, lots of very good players. I'm pretty sure that they are going to be fine. They're just living a difficult moment. But honestly, I think the fixtures they got, I wouldn't like these fixtures for me all together at the same time. I would like to play against one of the top 5. I would like in this first period of the season. I would like, but to play against all of them like they are doing, I think is not fair for them. They are playing against all the top teams.
The decision as to who took the penalty, was that down to you? Why not Romelu Lukaku?
No, the penalty taker today was Mata, and Mata was out, and then with 3-0 I let them take the decision. It could be Romelu to get confidence back, but I think Martial is also nice for him. He got the penalty. He had good 10 minutes. Fine for me, no problem.
Thanks, Jose.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.